At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. All right, what if I told you that over 14 million square feet of buildings, from multifamily housing to hotels, senior living, and workforce accommodations, have been built faster, more efficiently, and with greater quality control, all through modular construction? Well, today's guest has done exactly that, and I'm thrilled to welcome Tommy Rakes, CEO of Guerdon LLC, to the show. Guerdon is a powerhouse in the world of large-scale commercial offsite construction, serving the Western U.S. and Canada. With over 2 decades of innovation and leadership, Guerdon has become the go-to firm for multifamily and commercial modular building. And here's the kicker. They've got big expansion plans, including a new manufacturing facility in Colorado to meet the skyrocketing demands for modular housing. And let me tell you, with innovative capital partners backing their growth, they're not slowing down anytime soon. But we cannot bring you all these informative conversations without our supporting members. So a big shout out to Cobalt Creed, dealer, distributor for the Unico system, a small duct, energy efficient central HVAC system for homes, businesses, where space is at a premium. Make sure you reach out and contact Sean Intagliata or David Stewart to learn more. With that said, here's a few other supporting members, and then we're going to bring Tommy onto the show. Stream Modular, the only logistics company you need to transport your mods, pods, and panels. Our friends at Stream Modular are investing $50 million over the next 25 years to build the technology, solutions, and trailers needed to handle and transport the projects of today and meet the demands of tomorrow. Reach out to their team at streammodular.com to discuss your next project. Comil Lift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. Comil Lift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at Comil Lift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at comilift.com. Ready to scale up your offsite construction business? Introducing 4A Constructs, your solution to finding skilled labor for offsite manufacturing. Say goodbye to the headache of recruiting a skilled workforce with hand-selected certified tradesmen that are expertly trained and managed for offsite manufacturing, set crews, and finish crews, ensuring maximum productivity and safety. Unlock the future of skilled workforce development for all of your offsite construction needs. Visit them at 4aconstructs.com. All right. We can't do any of this without all those supporting members. So again, thank you to all of them, and make sure you visit them and thank them as well, because all of this knowledge is worth sharing so we can all build it better. Without further ado, let's bring Tommy Rakes onto the show. Tommy, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Well, it is awesome to have you on the show. It was awesome visiting your facility a few months ago. But before we get into this, Tommy, and before we get into the 14 million square feet of buildings and everything Guerdon has done over the years, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff for the hospital, or we're going to have one of your family members on. And I know it'll get embarrassing because we share a neighborhood in South Carolina. I will find you.
Yeah. Yes, that's for sure. So it's an honor to be on today. I started in the modular industry in 1977 as a framing carpenter with a company in Virginia, Nationwide Homes, and moved from framing carpentry, working on the line, to a line supervisor and actually a production manager in 1983. So I served in that role. And then in 1997, I moved into senior management role. Had the pleasure and honor of working with a tremendous group of people there that believed in quality construction, building the product, maximizing the efficiency inside of a modular factory and the strength of processes. So it had a heavy influence on me early on about balance line manufacturing and how you do things in a factory correctly and how you can have the best in industry quality delivered. As a part of that, I also was exposed to transportation, installation, and retail division. So I had a storied history of being able to work with a tremendous group of people. We were a part of Palm Harbor Homes. And by the way, happy birthday, Larry Keener. Today's his birthday. He's one of the people that meant a lot to me in my career as well. Post that, I had the opportunity to work alongside some people that mean a lot to me, Andy Miller and myself, and a lot of the great members of the ARIS team. We worked together to establish ARIS Manufacturing in South Carolina, fully vertically integrated company, fully devoted to commercial modular, and had a tremendous whole nother set of experiences, could capitalize upon a lot of the things that we learned throughout our career and how we felt manufacturing should be, but as well as that was what we needed to do to be able to install and complete and get the speed to market and all the benefits of what offsite modular construction brings to the table. So I had that experience, and then post that, I had the experience of working closely with setting up and getting factories started at two other manufacturers prior to joining the Guerdon team and doing some consulting work. So my background's heavy into operations. I'm totally committed to the quality of the product, successful completion of every project to be done on time correctly. And that's a lot of what I believe in, and what an honor it was to join the Guerdon team and be able to capitalize on the vision that was started in early 2000 and to think about how we want to take those experiences together and move this industry further along. So honored to be here today, excited to talk about what we're about and where we want to go.
I love it. So early 2000 is when Guerdon was formed, huh?
Well, Guerdon, the history of Guerdon goes back way beyond that. It was a manufacturer for 50 plus years and producing HUD product. In the early 2000s, Lad Dawson, who's a sitting member of the board now and a minority owner of the company and a real mentor to me and helps me a lot in what I do, he purchased Guerdon with the vision of being the first fully committed commercial modular manufacturer. So many of the assemblies and processes were developed. Members of the team, Mitch Holvalt, Chad Hart, many, and I don't want to, I start naming names, I'm going to leave some people out, so I want to be careful there. But so many of the team members that were with him and were able to have that experience and grow together was the leading to where we are today with over 220 projects completed. And so a lot of that vision, and the vision Guerdon had, was to be a holistic supplier. When I'm saying that, and we will talk about our site services program a couple of times, but I definitely want to talk a little bit more of what we're rolling out in 2025 as we move along. But the real key was Guerdon was committed for every project to be a success. So all those assemblies and all those lessons learned and all those years and years of experience brings us to where we are today. And it's a beautiful experience to be working with so much experience in the factory and the management team, and how we're wanting to work with our Innovatus and how we want to grow beyond this. It's just super fun and exciting to think about what we have done, but what we can do as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm putting your website up here a little bit just so people can see a little bit behind the scenes. You know, Tommy, tell me a little bit about the culture at Guerdon and, you know, and where you're headed. Give me a little bit about the future, and then we're going to show some projects and some slides as you're doing that, if that's okay.
Absolutely. So if you ask me, what is the most important part about Guerdon? It's the people. It's the heart of what we're about. It's our commitment to quality. It's our commitment to every project being a success. So the culture out here is fun. We every month recognize people, and we get out on the factory floor. It's pretty cool to walk through and give fist bumps to the team and see the experience level on the factory floor and what it's about. We enjoy our job. Our job can be challenging at times, especially in some of the market conditions that we've experienced in 2024. But the culture of Guerdon is about learning together, collaborate with general contractors and developers, how we can make more and more of our projects be successful, how we can work together. And it's powerful to see the team members when you, with the strength and the knowledge that's on the floor or in our offices, in our design teams, when you unleash that and give people a voice that is being heard and watch that together. That's the beauty of what we've been able to just see to go forward greatly. So the culture is alive and well at Guerdon, and we're creating a path toward the future.
Yeah, and I will vouch for it. I was up there not too long ago visiting some other manufacturers, to include your facility, and it was great to see the product going through the production line, the products out in the yard. Give us a quick overview before we get into some of the projects you've been working on or past projects. Just who is your customer, Tommy? Who's the customer, and what are the products that you're building? And then we'll hop into the slide deck.
Okay. All right. So our customer could be a general contractor or a developer. It could be a municipality that is doing a particular alternative housing proposal. We're right now we're building a project of MARI units that are going to relieve the fires that were devastation of last year. But our customers is a wide variety of people. And what we're about, we're in the multifamily. That our bread and butter is the multifamily, affordable workforce housing, of market rate multifamily apartments. That's our bread and butter. But also we have a storied history of completing hospitality projects, as well as providing alternative solutions for immediate housing, be it what has been termed in the past as man camps, or serving the oil and mining industries. And we have the ability to do that. We also have the ability to produce single family as well as ADUs. And you were able to see some of the units that are here. So if it can be built inside of a factory, it can be built here at Guerdon. And that's the neat thing of what we do. So we really value our customers and the relationships that we build. We want to, the earlier we can get involved in that process, the more we can make the entire project be successful from budgetary standpoints, from responsibility matrix, schedule of work. So that's important to us. We want to get in front of the customer early on in their design phase, the sooner the better. Too many of the projects get started with, hey, I want to do a project, but don't necessarily get the expertise of a manufacturer involved. And so that sometimes can delay the process a little bit. So we can get it using the term modularized so it can fit inside of a factory. But we have a wide variety of customers, but each of them are very important to us, and the success that we are dedicated to see those projects are successful.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. I was able to walk through some of the ADU models that you had on location there. Absolutely gorgeous. I was also able to go in some of your hotelier models, right? If you would have blindfolded me, put me in that room and shut the door, and took my blindfold off, I would have literally thought you dropped me in the middle of a hotel. And then you walk out, obviously you're in the manufacturing, yard or what have you. But the reality of it is, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. And you've been in this space for a long time doing these types of projects, so it's no surprise. Why don't we hop into some of the projects that you've been working on and walk us through those?
Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about Mountain Town, serving the mountain towns in our industry. This project here is Riverview. It's a Big Sky, Montana. It was 8 buildings. And this project was hugely successful for Guerdon. We were able to work closely in the planning stages. This project saw many things that's taken place. Now I want to talk a little bit about, we talked about the onset of Guerdon and the things and the assemblies and the internal processes for projects to be successful. So the beauty of what we've done now is we've taken that storied history and taken our processes to a level of success that the KPIs, the report cards, are showing. For an example, interior door installation, exterior door installation, the successful installation of HVAC systems and plumbing and electrical systems. So Riverview was one of the projects that we really put that effort forward by having the general contractor, the people that are doing the work, come by and visit the factory so they could understand things and how it could work. So the internal processes that Guerdon does within our factory, we're a traditional tool and jig volumetric factory, but I'm going to use this as an example. You have floors, walls, ceilings being built separately, and then those assemblies come together. So we do something like diagonal audits. It's a process that we do. So when the floor system goes in, the walls go on, and then the ceiling goes on. We make sure that the diagonally those boxes are square, those cubes are square, and that is a big benefit in many ways to reduce costs and also for the ease of the installation. During this project, we saw us be able to install 26 modules in one day. Now, logistics and staging plays a role in that, but the squareness of the boxes and how well they fit together and how they assemble is a big part of what we do. So that's part of those processes that we're perfecting. Some of those stored history of things that have worked for the Guerdon's history and how we're doing those things makes this even take it to another level. So this project was very successful for us, and we're very proud of this project, and the quality that has come out of the factory is great on this particular project.
Excellent.
Okay. So we'll talk about Market and Struthers next. I want to talk about that project. This project's in Grand Junction, Colorado. So I'm talking about responsibility matrix, and I'm talking about a collaborative effort with a general contractor. So I want to talk here. These two projects were very successful for Guerdon, but what I want to talk about the most is, as we went through lessons learned on these projects, the general contractor, we just said, hey, let's get together and let's talk about what worked well, how we can make it work better. Everybody in our industry, first and foremost, should say, we're committed that no project ever would get wet. I'm just using that as an example, and how things could work together. So we said, hey, let's get in a room together. Let's talk about this. we're going to put our responsibility matrix out here. We're going to be really defined as to what you were doing. You share your cost. We're going to look at our cost, and we want to talk about how we can take this holistic solution to another level. So the phase 3 of a project that is yet to be built, when we went through this, we talked about things like a TPO roof being installed in the factory, certified, that could be passed on to the client as it's being installed. The same crews that install it here in the factory seal it on site together, and the speed of what that does. We looked at the HVAC system. We changed that to where the plant could do more on our scope, and the site would do less. So the general contractor, the benefit from the general contractor, us as a manufacturer, and the client, what we saw is the next phase of this project is 4 buildings. Of the 4 buildings, we had a net savings of $2.7 million between the reduction of the cost of the general contractor, bringing more scope into the factory, and our site services program. What did that mean? It dropped the cost of the project in phase 3 by $40 a square foot and $20,000 a key. So we're super excited about how that's what can happen when the collaborative effort happens with a general contractor getting together with a manufacturer and said, how can we change this industry? How could we do more? As well as perfecting installation of interior and exterior doors, cabinetry, location of how plumbing and those things work. So that's the key of this project. And this is really an exciting part of what we want to do in the next phase.
Let me ask you a quick question, if I could, time before we move on. And I think it's important. One is, where does your job and the general contractor's job begin and end? I think that's always a very valuable thing to understand as you put this into context on what they're bringing into the manufacturing facility, because those numbers are real numbers. I mean, they're big numbers. We're not talking $100 here. We're talking serious savings that they're finding. And number 2, and I could be wrong on this, but my guess is you have repetitive clients and you have relationships with clients that continue to see the value add and the savings. Based on what I'm hearing here in my experience, I'm going to assume that as this has gone on and you're doing more projects with them, they're getting more comfortable handing over more things for you guys to manage to save on the bottom line.
Absolutely, 100%, which leads us to the next project that we could talk about, Guerdons West. So Guerdons West was another project that was greatly successful for Guerdon. And this project set to CO in less than 150 days. And this project, the owner's representative for this project, we did a project in the early part of 2024. We have a project on the docket for first part of 2025, and another project that we're doing a design with this owner's rep working with this group of people because of the success of the project. It was on the Guerdons West project, unique things that we did, it really worked well. Again, it's bringing the general contractors, sub-trades to the factory so they can understand how the connections, how things are done, but it's the simple things that how you do a handoff of how things work. Something as simple as labeling the wiring in multiple locations. No manufacturer ever sends the wire out exactly the right length. So if you only label the wire near the end, and the first thing an electrician does, he wants to cut the wires off so he can deal with it. Well, when he does, there's all the labeling gone. You got to retest the building, know what's going on. Just those little steps and principles is how we can work together. And the more we train people that are connecting the field for this is how it's done, those things are greatly successful. Again, enhancing our speed to market and how the projects work. Committing to zero drywall cracks, committing to zero window and door adjustments. And that's the process that we've been able to maximize. And Guerdons West is a perfect example of that. We saw when this project closed out, we were 50% below industry standard on chargebacks and warranty on this project. We only had 9 change orders. It was a great project for Guerdon, great project for the client, and this is repeat business for Guerdon and a huge success story for us all.
Yeah, and how big was this project?
This project was 3 buildings and 89 units.
89 units, 3 buildings. You remember how many modules it was?
126, I believe, something like that.
And you had 5 change orders.
9.
9 change orders.
Yep, that's it. Closed out.
Wow. My goodness, what happened to change order Fridays, right? Isn't that what the trades used to always try and do?
It's talking about getting together on the front side.
That's right.
Responsibility matrix, who's doing what, get the disciplines right, and then having a plan and then executing a plan. That's what it's about.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right, next project. Now this project here, this is part of Guerdon storied history, and this is really neat. Now this is downtown Los Angeles, huge density, a very successful project. This was a homeless housing project, and we have two projects. We'll be doing another Los Angeles project in December, and in early Q3 of 2025, we'll be doing another project that's going to Los Angeles. So that's really, Guerdon's really committed to getting back into the tax credit, how we can plan these projects out, and how we can meet the people, meet the players, be able to reassert ourselves and move forward and really capturing more and more of how this success can be in the density of such as California and Los Angeles. Really excited about what this was, a great project for us, and we're really excited about what we're going to be doing at the end of 24 and in 25 to more and more in the Los Angeles area and more and more in the tax credit projects.
And this is considered an affordable housing project?
This was homeless housing, yes.
So yes. Homeless housing. When I hear like the numbers you're talking about on a couple slides back, and I think about when you have those kind of savings, is that based off of what the contractor or the developer was getting from others? You know, well, general contractors. How do you quantify the savings?
It's a combination of things, Dave. It's one of the things that we talked briefly about is our specification design. So we took our spec designs for 2- and 3-story walk-up garden style units. We had that as a starting point for finishes and fixtures, and we're allowing that to transcend into each of the markets that we serve. We talked about some of the things we've talked about before, you and I have, is like kitchen and bath designs. And we've talked about like the sectional sofa industry and how they pick up SKUs and take minimal amount of SKUs and be able to maximize the design. So how we're able to do that, that's the core of taking that standard package with finishes and fixtures and how it can be repeatable and touch every base, how you could import the things that make sense, how you be able to focus on the sweet spot of really driving costs down. So that having best in class, best in pricing for your material cost and processes and practices is how you take that whole combination to drive pricing down and make projects successful.
So productizing your projects, right, to where
100%.
you can use the same products over and over again and dozens of different layouts and formats for dozens of different feels to meet the client's expectation. But then you control the overall value that you're delivering to the client because you know those costs versus always shopping for the next bespoke faucet.
Yes. A good, better, best mentality,
Yep.
That type thing, but staying in that family of products and features.
I love it.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Next. Now this project here was really special to us. That we produced this last year. This was 111 units, 48 modules, and we shipped it on time, barge to Dutch Harbor, Alaska, with 0 problems. And we stacked it on the barge, unstacked it, and installed it with 0 issues. And this project also is tracking well below industry standards. We had this time, I have 0 change orders on this project, and this project has been greatly successful. We had a lot of lessons learned here that has enabled us to be where we are with the FEMA units that are in our factory right now. But this was a great project. This is phase 1 of another project that we'll get with this client. But this is the experience of Guerdon about how we are taking the proven assemblies at work and catering it to what this project needed to happen and to be able to stand the vigors and the environmental conditions of Dutch Harbor, Alaska. We're extremely proud of this project, which our last five projects, Dave, consists of 382 modules shipped on time, 379 shipped without a material shortage. And as I said before, our most recent project, Guerdons West, well below 50% of the industry standards on warranty cost. And we're super excited about how our processes are being perfected and how we produce product going out of the factory that has the quality that enables us to capture the speed to market and really do what we want to do in our industry.
Isn't Dutch Harbor where Deadliest Catch is filmed?
Exactly. Exactly. And some of the filming, our project was in the background in one of the recent shows.
Oh, you can't ask for better advertising than that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you guys were barging and building and they were filming and they just happened to catch you.
No, it was after the project was set and installed that filming took place. But we thought it was neat. Hey, wait a minute, that's us.
I love it. I love it. Give me, just help me understand how you guys are dialing in these processes. You know, I know culture and people on the team having ownership and value in what they do, but what are some Tommy Rakes secrets that you can share with us on how you're dialing this in without giving away the special sauce, I guess?
Well, when you've been in the industry as long as I have, and you've done it as long as Guerdon has, you think of the things that makes the difference. I want to come back to the interior and exterior door. Let's say that you've got a project in California that has 350 interior doors. Let's say 50% of them have to be adjusted, and it's 2 man-hours per door to do that. Do the math, see what the wage cost is to do that. So those are the type things you say, hey, we can tackle that in the factory. The balance line manufacturing, it's perfect your drywall processes. It's get the rigidity inside the boxes that you're able to ship with minimal drywall cracks. That just take that product so when it comes out of the factory and installs on the foundation, it looks just like when it rolled out of the factory. So what you do is those lessons learned, you exceed the manufacturer's installation instructions, or you think about it when you're the one that, whether you're on a retail division and you're the one that's got to finish this project, or you vertically integrate it and you're the one that's got to put it together and make it work, you say, well, if I did this in the factory, it's going to help me here. So those are the type things that we're committed to doing, and how we get the rigidity into all the products and how they work together. Less expensive in the factory is not always less expensive for the cost of the project. So it's the proven processes of over 200 projects. It's the benefit of all the experience in the factory floor, over 10 years experience for the workforce in the factory, over 25 years experience of the management team. You put all that together and you say, okay, you build it this way, it's proven to work. And how you do that, and you don't deviate from that until you find a better means and method to do it. And you put that in place and it works. Simple about labeling the wirings, simple about pull ropes and conduits in places where you got to pull wires into panels, simple about running J boxes out into the corridor so you get the service entrance cable outside in the corridor and not inside the units. Keep the workers out of the units and into the areas that needs to be finished on site. You just take those efforts, you take that lessons learned, and you perfect those processes, and then you measure your results. It's all about how you perfect the process. And we talked about the Colorado plant. We've been planning for a Colorado plant for a year and a half by taking our processes and not making them just be Boise, Idaho specific, but so that they can transfer into another facility. I had between the time I left Nationwide and coming here, I had the experience of walking inside of a factory with 3 people and doing a proto within less than 45 days. And the way you're able to do that is how these processes come together and how you put the workforce together to do that. And one of your sponsors played a major role in helping me do that.
Oh, yeah, you can say which one.
4A.
4A Construct. Perfect.
Yes.
Love it. Good, good, good. I'm glad to hear it. You just said you could set up a factory in 45 days, a prototype?
I said we built a 2-story in 45 days. It was ridiculous pace, but it's how you can put those things together. It's the strength of the processes. You know, you can go inside of a building, you can start building quickly.
Right.
You don't have to have all of the automation and all the bells and whistles. You need to have the processes and the disciplines and the commitment to what you're doing. And Guerdon's all about balance line manufacturing. Guerdon's all about doing at each station what it's supposed to be. Guerdon's all about sub-assemblies. And Guerdon is also about what does this industry need to do next? And the site services program, I want to talk about that. All the projects Guerdon has ever done, we always price into, as part of our standard, what we call site assurance. That's where we're going to have management and technicians during the installation of the project. And after the project is installed, it's boots on the ground. It's taking care of the initial things that could have come up during transportation, minor damages that could have occurred. But beyond that is also with the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, the HVAC systems, the electrical and plumbing, that the people understand the connections and they get started off correctly. That is very, very important. That's in the standard of what Guerdon does. That was the vision that Ladd had many years ago when he started Guerdon. So now Guerdon has taken that to another level. We're going to offer in 2025, starting in the state of Colorado, it's called Suite Ownership. And it's back to the responsibility matrix. It's us trimming out the marriage lines. It's us pricing and taking care of the finish of the drywall, the completion of the drywall, the cracks and the painting. It's us making the interior and exterior door adjustments. The last project that we delivered to Mountain Valley, Colorado was 52 modules, and our interior and exterior door process saw one door that had to be adjusted. So the experience and the strength we bring to the table helps us to be very aggressive with our pricing and helps us work closely with the general contractors to drive down the cost and make the projects pencil more. We're super excited about this suite ownership that we're going to be rolling out in 2025. And the project that I talked about in Grand Junction, Colorado, that general contractor plays a huge role in us perfecting our plans for how we're rolling that out. So as well as the Colorado plant, we're going to be offering more in our industry to our clients to be able to be more and more successful. Guerdon is committed to ensuring that every project is successful for our clients. And we want to provide the internal design, the best in class finishes and fixtures, and be able to do that. Now, I do want to talk about a project that's in the factory right now, the alternative temporary transportable housing units that are going to Maui. So we're super excited to be building this project. Here's a real-time picture of this in the factory. I do want to point out the strength of sub-assembly manufacturing. So, things can happen. So we had a delay by 3 days for some subfloor and underlayment or decking that had to be termite treated. And that was a specific part of this project. Our material did not arrive until noon Thursday. And since noon Thursday, we have 6 modules in manufacturing, and these first 2 will be on a barge October the 17th going to Maui. So we're super excited about doing this. We're super excited about this project. And that sub-assembly mindset is, build all these sub-assemblies and let the production line be an assembly line, not a construction line, enabled us to pick up and gain back some things that took place by the material delay. We're really excited about this. The people in the factory are super excited to be doing this project. And that's, again, the benefit of the strength of strong processes and how quickly you can execute a plan.
How are you doing the assembly line process? You know, the kit of parts, you know, or sub-assemblies. Are you building those sub-assemblies in the factory and then just installing them on the assembly line, or are you working with local trades or partners to build those sub-assemblies and bring them into the factory?
Both, both. We have an interior we have an interior and exterior door manufacturer in the area. He's a vendor of ours. He delivers us project specific interior doors, pre-painted, pre-finished, has the jams, the stops, everything that we need for our industry. This particular project has window kits that are pre-built to trim out the windows, so you don't have to do a drywall return or do your casework of the return of your window units after they're done. So we already had those in place. Little things like panel boxes. This is a repetitive production, so we all the panels are already pre-made. Breakers in, links of the conduits is already installed, so they're already in place. It's doing the pre-builds of your walls, your partition walls, and your side walls. We were able to install our MEPs inside those walls and those racks, and how we can put it all together that way. So it's your plumbing kits, it's your plumbing trees, how you pre-make those up, pre-test those. Our plumbing, our drain waste vent system was pre-made, and once we got our materials in place, we could just drop it in and go on. We had them pre-made and pre-tested. So it's again, back to that sectional sofa. How do you take all the parts and pieces? How do you break it apart? How do you take a project look at it like a Rubik's Cube, break it apart? How do you take and perfect each one of those processes and put them together, and then you put them together as a whole and you move forward? So that's the fun part of what Guerdon's about. It's building upon the storied history of what worked for us while we're forward thinking about what's going to work for us in the future. What does our industry need to take it to the next level?
How did you get the buy-in of your assembly partners, you know, on the outside to set up shop to do all these pre-assemblies for you? Was it a hard thing to do, or were they kind of just all bought into it?
Everybody that you bring in and you really clarify about, okay, I want you to do this for us. Would you consider this? This is going to make this work. And they're able to do their pricing. You put it all together. It's a win-win for everybody. It's pre-planning. It's laying out who's doing what and how to make it all work and how it can come together. It's simple as the kitting or the doors, or how you package things together. It's how you are willing to invest in carts and pallets and things that work for us, works for the vendor, and speeds up the material handling process. It's all about taking a piece of the pie and breaking it out and say, okay, if I do this, you do this, how do we win together, and how do we become more and more successful? But that's what it's all about. It's just roll the sleeves up, begin to break each of the components apart into individual parts and pieces, and how to put it together and make it work. That's what we're about. That's why we went into this industry years and years ago. It's about sub-assemblies. It's about balanced lines. It's about doing at each station. You know, I keep saying I want us to influence the automobile industry versus the automobile industry trying to influence us.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, you know, in this project, you know, the Maui fires and FEMA's a hot topic on the news, as you know, right? It's a crazy thing out there. You guys have also been working on some products for like the fires that happened in Maui. What about North Carolina? Is this all applicable of what you guys have put together for quick response, quick assembly, being able to move product down the line?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to come back to some camp type product. It's similar to what you're talking about here. Yeah, so we had some emergency interim housing units for San Jose that we were able to quickly put together post COVID and be able to do that. And we have some product right now that we can do quickly. We have a design that we can go in production very, very quickly. We have, as we speak right now, we have 120 bed units. It's 30 modules that could be, and the way it's designed, it's multi-state approval. It could go to any of these areas and provide immediate relief. So we have that in inventory. We have the ability to do that. we could provide it in North Carolina. It's just, it comes back to here's the key. And we learned this a long time ago. It's that multi-state approval. It's when you design something, where are the market areas you want to go, get it designed that it can work that way. And then you've got a plan that can work. It's sitting on the shelf. You don't have to submit something and wait for the approvals. You're ready. You could put it in production immediately. And that Guerdon has that in place right now. So we have that ability to do that.
Yeah, and what about the ability, like this conversation, what's happening with FEMA, affordable housing, workforce housing, emergency housing, and not having trailers that just end up in a landfill, right? Like we've been doing. How do we really give people a place to live and get back on their feet? That's the whole idea here, that they could be proud of, they could feel good about, versus a tent or, a trailer that doesn't really work. What has been kind of the difficulties with, trying to get on the radar of FEMA and trying to get a backlog of your products ready to go for when disaster does strike?
Well, the big differentiator right now with this current project, this is all IBC IRC. This is not a HUD. This is project. This is an entirely different code. So for these 169 ATTHUs, the requirement was that they could have a 2-year plus shelf life. They could be relocated and used again. So that's part of what you're doing. That's part of how you build that in and how it could be worked that way. That's the beauty of what we do versus some of the HUD manufacturing. The shelf life is different there. So along with that, I want to bring up one of the things that we're doing is some of our standard designs. I want to talk about what we've done with our garden style 2- and 3-story walk-ups that also transcends that as well. So I want to put a slide up that what we have done here is we've developed standard units, standard designs that could fit in different areas of the country as what it's done. And what you have, again, is the sum of the whole is your unit mix, and you have multiple skins, multiple views, multiple exteriors that you can do in our designs. This is what we were able to do. So depending on where you are, what region you're in the country, you can say, okay, here's my unit mix. This is what I want. This is the exterior. This is what I want it to look like. So the combination of just the workforce housing or the designs of the man camps, or the design of the sleeper units, as we call them, along with our standard designs, we're able now to have more of a portfolio that we can meet needs quickly. We're actually talking to a client in Hawaii now that is looking at this type of design that's going to meet some multifamily housing. They need more density, they need more vertical construction versus just having multiple units side by side. So as well as what we can do with our design of our sleeper units or our four-man modules, we can also do this design. And we're currently have this in place, and this is the core common denominator of what we've been able to put together. Here's the plan of what we have for interim housing right now, and what that looks like, and how we can quickly provide that to anyone on very short notice. And we have some inventory of this product in our yard right now.
I mean, listen, I think this is great. What is the widths and lengths of this?
This is 14 by 68. I believe.
So easily shippable, at least in this parts of the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Well, let's go. And I got a couple things I want to touch on here that you mentioned. I want to go back and touch on site assurance, and I also want to touch on suite ownership. And I really want people to understand those two things, because the site assurance one, I think, is beyond valuable, but the whole suite ownership part of what you're rolling out, so everybody knows what comes first, the chicken or the egg type stuff, I guess, is what that leads to. Help us understand those two things, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right, thank you. So again, Guerdon, at the vision Guerdon had in the early 2000s to make sure the projects are successful was the site services program. That was the genesis of Guerdon. It was having the people on the site, making sure these units are installed correctly, making sure the connections are happening correctly, and addressing issues that could come up. Now, there were some years maybe the importance wasn't placed there, but there was a total recommitment to that when Innovatus came back into, had purchased Guerdon, and also Ladd came back into play there. And part of why I wanted to join the team was the experience I had and how we saw this coming together. So the suite ownership portion, those numbers, that project, that third phase of that project in Grand Junction, Colorado, that's a big part of how we were able to generate those numbers. It's a matter of taking that responsibility matrix and think of a developer or a GC. All right, so I got a 150 module project, and I go to John Doe Drywall Company and I say, I need a quote to address drywall cracks in 150 units. Well, what do you think the cost is going to be? It's an undefined amount of work. It's not spelled out. It's not clear. So everybody's putting numbers out there just to make sure they cover what their cost is, but it's not helping the success of that project. It's not helping the cost of that project. So there, our suite ownership is a defined scope of work that we go inside each suite. We trim out marriage walls. We do door and window adjustments. We do drywall repairs, and we broom sweep, and we clean, and we come out with a finished unit like what it come out of the factory. And we assist with when the commission is done for the water, and when it's turned on, we're right there to address any issues that could come up and address any leaks. But that is our success of a project, is taking that on our scope and taking that in our portion of our responsibilities. We're committed to the quality of the product. We're committed to fewer drywall cracks, zero drywall cracks. We're committed to zero interior and exterior door adjustments. We're committed to zero plumbing leaks. And so the more that we take that into our scope and have that on our nickel, and we can drive the cost of the project down, that is big. And everyone we've priced this to is embraced it right away. We have multiple projects right now that we'll be doing suite ownership to. So it is a defined scope of work that Guerdon goes inside the unit and completes the work traditionally done by general contractors. We're doing that and providing that service to them. And we're rolling it out in Colorado first.
How do you train for that with all the different general contractors? I mean, I just had your project page up. I mean, there's, I don't know, 50, 100 projects on that page all over the place. General contractors are all different, probably. You know, now you have, you know, other than your step and repeat customers that have found tried and true. How do you train? How do you get everybody to buy into your system, Tommy? And I know it has a lot to do with your personality and your team's personality, but I mean, these are big projects to do what you're doing.
Very easy. The talent comes from the factory floor. It's promoting from within. It's in our industry, we talk about utility trades inside of a factory. Utility is a person that can go to multiple jobs in the factory and understands how to do it all. Well, we're taking that to another level. We're training our people in our factory floor. These site ownership, suite ownership, suite ownership and site assurance, those are the people that come from the factory floor, the people that can install the underlayment, install the flooring, trim out the door and paint it and do drywall repairs. And you don't have to have multiple trades. It's one person with multiple skills. So we're super excited. It's a monetary benefit to the people to come off the factory floor, and it's hugely successful to the client. So that's where the people come from, the factory. They understand how to do it. So they're trained in the factory and they go to the site and complete it at the site. It's a simple answer.
What is a simple answer when you say it like that? For sure.
And we do have our management team. We have our superintendents are licensed as contractors, so our people work under that. That's how we approach that. So Brian Shoemaker is our director of construction. His team has superintendents that are licensed contractors, enables us to do that. And then the technicians comes from the factory floor, and they're super excited about doing it. If they don't mind travel and being away from home, it's a win-win. So that's how we've been able to address that. Very excited about it.
Tommy, Team Guerdon's going to be at the ICC, International Code Council's annual conference and expo committee hearing coming up in October, I think the 20th through the 23rd. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about that event, why it is so important for you? And I know you guys said you heard it here from us, but you're going to be out there. Helena Lidlow from VBC, Volumetric Building Companies, is going to be there. Ken Semler and many others. What are you and your team looking forward to while attending this event?
Mitch Hovalt, our Director of Design and Product Development, he's going to be there. Our Marketing Director is going to be there. So it's a matter of getting in the room, learning from each other, and talking about how we can move this industry forward. So that's the simple part of why we want to be there. We want to be there, learn from each other, and how we can benefit from a design perspective, from how we can move this forward and how we can make things work. There's tons of gains that we can get back to the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, how we can look at plumbing systems, electrical systems, how we can simplify connections. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Molex connectors being used, different things. So we're really, really excited about getting out there, training, hearing what other people's thoughts are, sharing our thoughts, and how we can grow together. So,
yeah. And then listen, there's not only, you guys are going to have a booth there, I think. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep, there's a place for you to display your goods and your wares. If you want to, if you're in the modular space, the offsite space, panelized, it does not matter to me. This is where all of the code officials go for their annual meeting. You want to meet the heads of the states that you're building in? This is the place to go. This is not on the normal tour of shows that we would normally attend, is it, Tommy?
Not at all.
Right. But they've asked us to help bring the offsite community to them because they do want to learn. They want to help us get our approvals. They want to help us move forward. And part of doing that is educating them. We're not just educating a state the size of a country like Germany. We have to educate everybody across the country because we're shipping across the country. So I highly recommend that if it's not on your radar, reach out to us. And if you can't attend the conference, guess what? Tommy, guess what?
What's that?
We got a free cocktail hour and a dorm hour with the ICC. So even if you can't do all the events all day and you're from the area, you just want to come out and meet all these people, we're hosting a cocktail hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3. And you guys show up and you're still going to be able to meet the local code officials in your jurisdictions, as well as Dominic, who is the CEO of the ICC, and our good friend Ryan Kolker in the industry. So just wanted to share that with everybody and put it up there. And there's a flyer too. We'll put links to the flyer. So if you're interested, please reach out to us and we'd love to see you there.
Great. Thank you.
Did I miss anything, Tommy? Is there anything I missed that you feel that, you know, Dave, shame on you, you should have got that done for me?
No, it's all about all of us working together and move this industry forward. How can we make it work better? Speed to market, better quality product. And why would anyone want to build their computer outside in the rain? Anyone want to build their automobile outside in the rain? Why would anyone want to build their project outside in the rain? Let's take this to a whole different level, and let's spend some time down there in South Carolina kicking back.
I have nothing further to say. Tommy, outstanding job, outstanding outro. Take what Tommy said to heart, because we do need to start talking more. We need to spend more time together to build it better. And the great news is it's Monday. Everybody still has another 4.5 days to build it better. So get to it, get working. They're shipping stuff to Alaska with no missing parts and building where they do the deadliest catch. We can figure it out in our own backyards. Tommy, thanks so much. Don't go anywhere. I'll come back to you after the outro. But for the rest of you, I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.